Now, earlier this week, we heard of the sad death of one of the pioneers of television. Not in this country, but the other side of the world. However, there is a very definite Midlands connection, as Mike Prince tells us. But first, recognise this.
Here at Big Centre TV, we were saddened to learn of the death of Reg Grundy, one of the founding fathers of Australian television, and a man who had more than a passing association with Birmingham and the Midlands. Reg began his career as a sports commentator on radio. When television arrived down under, Reg made the transition to this new medium, and with his new show, Wheel of Fortune. Later, moving behind the camera, Reg would go on to produce over 80 game and quiz shows in Australia, including Sale of the Century, Blankety Blanks, with the S as it was called down in Australia, Perfect Match, and The Price is Right. Reg was determined to get into television drama production, and he needed the very best talent in order to fulfil this ambition. And he wanted at least one daily serial or soap opera on every television network in Australia, a very ambitious plan. Now, here's where the Birmingham connection comes in. He'd heard of the success of Crossroads in Birmingham and travelled to the UK to spend a week observing how the serial was produced. He made several return visits to Brum in order to persuade the Australian-born Crossroads producer Reg Watson and series director Alan Coleman, who died last year actually, to move down under in order to head up his fledgling drama department. And I knew both Reg Watson and Alan Coleman when I was a young programme researcher at ATV in the late 60s. The first major hit serial which Reg Grundy had was The Young Doctors, a programme which followed the lives and loves of the staff and patients of the Albert Memorial Hospital. The programme was a ratings hit in Australia and was the first Grundy soap to sell internationally, with Central Television here in the Midlands being the first British broadcaster to screen it. The Young Doctors ended up selling all over the world and broke the record as Australia's longest-running drama serial at the time. The hits kept on coming, and Midlands viewers were soon enjoying Sons and Daughters, which followed the over-the-top exploits sometimes of the rich Hamilton family in Sydney and the working-class Palmers in Melbourne. Central Television had another hit on their hands when they acquired Prisoner Cell Block H, where the tough inmates of the Wentworth Detention Centre were ruled over by sadistic screws such as Joan the Freak Ferguson. When the programme ended, fans picketed the Central Studios demanding a repeat run, and I well remember the scrum outside the Bridge Street entrance of Central TV in Birmingham when I was trying to go on duty as an announcer. This popularity encouraged Central bosses to become co-production partners with Reg Grundy in the series Dangerous Women, a programme which was filmed in America about female inmates being released from jail and attempting to rebuild their lives in a halfway house. Reg Grundy's greatest drama success came with the serial Neighbours, a programme devised by Reg Watson. For over 30 years, the lives and the residents of Ramsay Street have enthralled viewers all over the world, and it continues to be a ratings winner for Channel 5 here in the UK to this day. The theatrical agent Darren Gray says, Reg Grundy was a true gentleman and was very kind to me. He was a very generous man who created so many opportunities for cast and crew members all over the world. He genuinely cared about the people who worked for him and gave pleasure to television viewers everywhere with a big fan base for his shows here in the Midlands. He was a true pioneer of the television industry, and I doubt that we'll see his like again. More's the pity. One of the greatest television producers ever to work in our industry has left us, but his legacy will live on through the remarkable archive of programming which he has left behind and which still has a firm following here in the UK as well as his native Australia. Reg was awarded both the Order of the British Empire and the Order of Australia and published his autobiography titled Reg Grundy in 2010. He died on the 8th of May at his home in Bermuda at the age of 92. His wife and actress and author Joy Chambers was by his side as she always was. Joy was always on hand to support him. Theirs was truly a perfect match.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks also to Darren Gray, who, as we heard, knew Reg Grundy and represented a number of performers in the Grundy programmes.